Okay, today we're going to be trying to take another step forward. Um, this time it's going to be, I'm just trying to get some oil into the engine, see if it'll crank, um, and I'm just trying to build oil pressure. I'm not going to try and start it, nothing of the sort. So the main goal for the day is just to get oil in the car, um, turn it over, make sure I get the oil pressure, and then we'll worry about getting the start. There's a few things I have to do before um, actually trying to get it to crank. Let's take a look down here. Okay, there's a few things that I have to get taken care of. One of the major things is to get the oil cooler lines hooked up. And they are they are down here. So I had to get those hooked up. And I got to get the, what else? That's about it. I think you get that connected up, then we'll be good to be able to get everything cranked. Oh, I got to check the oil pan, make sure that drain plug is secure. But then once that's done, then we can be trying to see if I can get the engine to crank, get some oil pressure going, and we'll see what's going on from there. So stay tuned. People always ask, why is it taking so long? What's the problem? Why are you not finished with this after all of these months? Well, it's things like this. Okay, I've got the intercooler mounted. I've got the oil cooler mounted. This is the oil cooler here. These are the lines that run from a plate, a sandwich plate on the where the oil filter is normally located. And as you can see, that is just about an inch, inch and a half shy of where it needs to connect. Why is that? Probably because I had to clock the sandwich plate in order to have both the oil pressure senders connected. I had to clock it probably back that way, counterclockwise, which pulled this line away from its regular location. So what I'm going to end up having to do is to take off this oil cooler mounting plate, drill the holes, like I said, about an inch and a half back that way in order to push the oil cooler back so that I can mount the be able to hook up the oil lines. So let me get out a measure, because like they say, measure once, cut twice, or I should say, as I say, because that's my usual MO. So to have that mounted easily, that is about like I said, that's 1.75 inches. I could stretch it and make it 1.5 inches, but that wouldn't be wise. 2 inches would probably be better to have enough slack. to slide this back 2 inches. But then I have another problem. And let's look over here. So, move some of these wires out of the way. Over here, which is not, let me reposition this, that sway bar is in the way. But you see here, that, and let me zoom in a little. That's as much zoom as I'm going to get. But this mounting point for the rack, the steering rack, only gives me about 1 inch clearance. So that means I can't push that oil cooler back that far. I have to move it over. I have to move it over probably about 2 inches. What is that? That's about, let me see, that's, yeah, have to move it over about 2 inches or 1.5 inches. So not only do I have to move the oil cooler that way, I have to move it that way and that way, about 2 inches back and about 1.5 inches over. So prime reason why things take longer than expected. Whoopee. Okay, I thought of another solution. But of course, it's going to take more time. But anyway, what if I took this fitting off here? I think this is a 3/8 NPT to a 8AN. What if I took this out, replaced it with a 90 degree, so it came out like that, and with the AN fitting here. This is the fitting that takes some of the oil pressure and sends it up to the AccuSump, which is up there. So if I put a 90 degree here, then that will roughly put this here. And then I could replace this end with a straight 8AN. That's a possibility. That just means I have to wait for that fitting. The straight AN here, hose fitting, and then the 90 degree here. But that means that I don't have to re-drill this plate. It offers the extra added benefit that with this on here, you see how that end, maybe you don't, that end is sticking off the edge of the plate, doesn't have a lot of protection. So if something comes underneath the car and whacks that, then I lose oil pressure. So this is probably a more attractive solution. So I think I might do that. well, another day, another defeat. Okay, here's the deal. This bolt right here is one of three that holds in the starter. It is yeah, well, that bolt also secures this bracket that has this cable here that goes from the back of the car to the front. It's a main wiring loom. It's a bitch to try and get that secured because this thing is so stiff and it's a pain in the butt. So I'm trying to get this wiring harness secured here with this bracket, and as I was saying, it's a real pain in the butt. So what I'm thinking that I might do is take this bracket and this here. Let me zoom out a little bit. Take this bracket off of the loom, secure it onto this bolt here, and then reattach it to the loom. That's probably the easiest thing to do. So that's the approach I think I'm going to take, because otherwise I'll be struggling for hours trying to get this stupid thing on to that bolt here. So here we go. Okay, here's the bracket. It's seen better days. This part is bent. It's been not connected onto the engine for probably 2 or 3 years just because of the difficulty in dealing with it. And as you can see, it's kind of dirty, more than kind of dirty. This is the clip that goes around the harness, and it's in no better shape. So I'm going to clean these up and get everything positioned, get it ready to go back into the car, and hopefully be able to make it work. So that's what I'm doing. So here comes the fun part. I know my hands are in the way, but that's the bracket on. That's the bolt going on the bracket. Now I have to get the harness clip. Let's get this out of the way. Okay, now I'm going to take off this oil cooler bracket so that I can re-drill these holes. I'm going short term for option 1 that I talked about, which is re-drilling the mounting holes for the oil cooler, and that's only at this point so that I can at least try and get the oil pressure. I've got parts on order to redo how this is located, and as I said, the idea is to come out of this port with a 90 degree. Then this is going to connect to that 90 degree. This is going to the AccuSunk, and then I'm going to replace this 90 degree here with a straight fitting, and that will get me to this line, which will take care of the problem that I'm dealing with. But short term, I'm just going to re-drill the holes for the mounting of the of the oil cooler so that I can at least try and crank the engine. So here goes. Okay, here's my oil cooler mount, all scrubbed up. I'll probably, more than probably, I'll paint this, but this is the basic bracket. This screen is to keep stuff that's passing through, big stuff, sticks and rocks and stuff, from coming up through the oil cooler. And then this is my makeshift scoop that sits underneath, that's supposed to direct air into the cooler. So that's about as good as it gets. I'm gonna get this painted and put back in the car, but before I do that, I'm gonna relocate these holes. So these are the holes for the oil cooler, this, and this. And as I said the other day, that I'm going to move these bolt holes back about 2 inches and over about 1.5 inches. And that will allow me to get the hoses on. This was option 1. So this will allow me to get the hoses on from the engine so that I can at least see if I can build some oil pressure. And I've got the parts on oil to do option 2, which is to do a 90-degree out of the oil cooler, and then that will effectively put the locate the hose for the intake to the cooler back around in this area, which will gain me the space that I need. So this, I'm doing option 1, which is the short-term fix, and then when the part comes in, I'll revert back to option 2, and then I'll paint this up. And without a doubt, this is not a viable long-term alternative, because as you see with the new holes, this is completely off-center. Completely off center, which I kind of expected. So option 1 is not a viable long-term alternative, but this is just to get me through being able to try and crank this engine and see if I can get it not fired up, but get it cranked and get some oil pressure. And then when the real deal comes in, then I will relocate this. So this is just temporary. just so I can keep the oil system a workout. Do or die moment, or the first do or die moment. This is all about turning the engine over, see if I get oil pressure. If I do get oil pressure, see if I get leaks. So this is test 1A. So it's showing over full, or just at full. So I know for a fact that it's got to fill up the the oil cooler, the oil filter, the AccuSump. Again, no water works. So let's turn on the juice. And let's see if I got any starting action. Probably would help to put the key. So the starter is I got no leaks so far. Oil level should have gone down. It's still showing high. Let's lift this up and see what we got going on here. Let's see. See, I see no oil coming up here. So that's saying that I'm not circulating anything. I don't know if it's actually circulating. I mean, the cam lobes are wet. I have to believe that the oil is coming up at least to that much. But there's no circulation here. But like I said, that's probably more an indication that the thermostat is not open. So, I guess I think all I've proven at this point is that the engine will turn over. That it seems like oil is coming up into the head and is wetting the cam lobes. Beyond that, I don't know. So I guess the next logical step is to put it together for real and see if I can get it to fire. With the epic fail of my so-called oil pressure test, I guess the question is, do I try and diagnose why I'm not getting signals on the oil pressure sensors, or do I just simply go for it, put everything together, and then get to a running engine state, and if I still don't see an oil pressure, then go back and check wiring and all that other kind of good stuff. So 6 of one, half dozen of another. I'll let you weigh in and see what it is that makes the best sense. Should I diagnose, or should I go for it? Throw caution to the wind, put together a running engine, and hope that all goes well. So with that being said, I'm going to pack up and call it quits for today, and we'll see you on the next episode.
Many hours later.